I just got my 17th Etsy order. Hey guys, it's Olivia. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's Thursday, September 11th at 1:15 p.m. and I woke up about an hour ago. But mind you, I work nights and I don't get home from work until like 1 a.m. So I think it's okay that I sleep in until noon. But anywho, this afternoon I woke up to my 17th Etsy order. So the order came in around 9 a.m. I was not awake for that. But that's when the order came in, and so when I woke up and I checked my phone, I saw the notification, and it was lovely. And so this order is from Liliana, and that name might sound familiar because Liliana is my first repeat buyer. So at the end of June, Liliana ordered one of my turtle plushies, and it was actually the first pre-made item that I ever sold. And now she has ordered a baby blue leggy froggy and an orca whale plushie. So I know we've been making a lot of orca whale keychains, but now we get to make a plushie version. And so this seems to be a trend with Liliana because she's getting another pre-made item. So I have this leggy froggy. This is another one of the first products that I put up on my shop, and I made this in May of 2024. So I've had this for over a year and now it must go. And I also have this orca whale plushie. However, this is one that I'm keeping for myself. So I am going to crochet an orca whale plushie in this video. So essentially the way I determine whether or not I'm going to sell an item I've already made versus making a new one when the order comes in is based on this. So I only have one orca whale plushie and I want to keep it so that I can use it as a reference whenever I'm making a new one. So if I sell this and then another order comes in, then I don't have a reference whale. However, with my leggy froggies, I have 6 of them. And so I only need one of them as a reference so I can sell one of the 6 that I have. So I have these two-tone leggy froggies, which we're going to set to the side for a second. And then I have these solid ones. So let's say I sell this blue one, then I sell the black one, then I sell the yellow one, meaning the only one I have left in my possession is the purple one. Then let's say someone orders purple. I'm not going to sell them this specific purple. I'm going to make one, because then if I sell this, I'll have 0 leggy froggies and I won't have a reference one anymore. So when I make things in multiple colors, I don't need to keep one of each color, but I need to keep, or I prefer to keep, at least one to use as a reference, just to make sure like I'm putting the eyes in the same spot, putting the mouth in the same spot. Like I just want to make sure that they look as symmetrical as possible. When it comes to handmade, there's always going to be slight differences with each thing you make, but I want it to look as similar as possible, so I always keep a reference one. So since I have so many leggy froggies, I can just sell this one that I've already made. So anywho, that was a long introduction. But I am not actually going to start crocheting right now because, as I said, it's after 1 p.m. I work evenings. I start work at 5, but I don't work close to my house, so I need to leave home by 3:30. So I don't want to rush making the orca whale plushie. So the plan is to make it after work. Even though I'm probably going to get home around 1 a.m., I'm probably going to stay up anyways. Like, if I'm being real with myself, I'm probably going to stay up anyways. So if I'm going to be awake, I might as well get some work done. So when I get home from work, if I'm not too tired, I will crochet the second plushie. So this one, check, and then I'll make one of these and we'll package everything up, all the stuff. You guys know the drill. You've seen enough of these videos. What part is this? This is Road to 100 Etsy Orders, part 15. So you guys know the drill at this point. So I will see you guys later. Well, technically tomorrow, because it's going to be September 12th by the time I get home from work. So I'll see you guys in about 12 hours. It's the next day, as in 24 hours later. It is Friday, September 12th at 1:20 p.m. And yes, I am wearing the exact same shirt that I wore yesterday, except with red sleeves instead of black. Essentially, I'm channeling my inner Troy Bolton. And random side note, I just learned like 10 minutes ago, because I was trying to figure out what this type of shirt is called. This is called a baseball tee. Didn't know that, but now I do. And I just think it's funny that Troy Bolton was always wearing baseball tees, but he was a basketball player. I don't know. I just found that a little ironic. Either way, last night, or I guess technically this morning when I came home from work, I was in a crocheting mood, but I was not in a filming mood. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to set up the camera, set up the lights and all the stuff. I just wanted to relax. So I did crochet some stuff, not for this order, just other things, other projects that I'm working on the side. But yeah, I just wasn't in the mood to set up a camera. So this orca whale plushie did not get made. But I do have my yarn, and not so fun fact, this yarn, this is Chenille Home Slim. This yarn has been discontinued. Michaels discontinued it. Like, they were very hush-hush about it, and they had taken it off the shelves, but they kept saying, oh, we're going to restock it, we're going to restock it, we're going to restock it. Like a month or so ago, I DM'd them on Instagram, and I'm like, hey, I haven't seen it in a long time. And they basically said that Chenille Home and Chenille Home Slim are being discontinued. And they're like, oh, it's okay because it's going to be replaced with something. And let me tell you what ended up happening. Sorry, quick crochet rant, I guess, before we start crocheting. So I live in Canada, so we never had Joann. But Joann is, or was, I guess, a craft store in USA. So Joann went bankrupt, they closed all their stores, and then Michaels, I guess, bought the rights or something to their yarn specifically. I don't know about their other, like, I don't know about fabrics and all this other stuff, but they bought some of their yarns. So essentially, Joann used to have a chenille yarn called Baby Bear, and now it's Cozy Cub at Michaels. And then they used to have Posh, and then now Michaels has Posh Pearl. So essentially, Michaels was gonna bring back Chenille Home and Chenille Home Slim until Joann went out of business. So then they took over Joann's chenille yarns instead of bringing back their own chenille yarn, which is very annoying. Like, in store, I felt the texture of them and they feel very similar. It's not that. It's the colors. It's like the Chenille Home Slim blue is different than the Baby Bear blue. Like, it's not the same shade. I'll give you an example. This is the brown I use for my sunflower pillows. This is Chenille Home. So I don't know if you can see, but black is Chenille Home Slim and brown is Chenille Home. So you can see the thickness difference. So this is a weight 6 yarn. This is a weight 7. Now that they've gotten rid of Chenille Home and Chenille Home Slim, they don't have a weight 7 yarn anymore. So when I run out of this skein of yarn in this specific color and this specific yarn thickness, I don't know how I'm ever gonna make this pillow again. Or no, they do have a weight 7 that they just came out with like last week. It's called like Demi Pearl or something. I don't remember what it's called. I'll put the name here. But there's like less than 10 colors of it, and none of them are this shade of brown. So essentially, Michaels used to have Sweet Snuggles and Sweet Snuggles Light, and then they had Chenille Home and Chenille Home Slim. Those were their only chenille yarns. Now they've gotten rid of Home and Home Slim, so they have Sweet Snuggles and Sweet Snuggles Light. And then now they have Posh Pearl, Cozy Cub, Skinny Chenille, Demi Pearl, or whatever it's called. Like, they're just getting all these different chenille yarns, but none of them are this or this. So they feel similar. And I also think some of them are skinnier, which means if you made a plushie out of it, it would be smaller than if you use this yarn. But I don't really mind that so much because I can just add stitches to make it the same size. So that's not the issue. But the fact that it's not the same color, like when it comes to black, black is black. Like, it's not really going to be that different. Like, there's how many shades of black are there? Do you see what I mean? But in terms of brown, and you don't have this brown anymore, this is called terracotta, and you don't have terracotta anymore, some of my products, like even my elephant plushie, I used Chenille Home Slim in the color ash. Ash doesn't exist anymore. Terracotta doesn't exist anymore. Vineyard Green, which I used to make my custom daisy pillow, doesn't exist anymore. And I just don't understand why Michaels got rid of their yarn to take over Joann's yarn. Like you could have done both. You could have taken on the yarn from Joann and kept Chenille Home and Chenille Home Slim. Like, why can't you have both? You know what I mean? So I say all that to say, I was not planning on talking about this. It just kind of came up. I say all that to say, this is my last ball of black. And like, these are my last ball of each color. And once I run out of these, I have to update the color options on a lot of my listings on Etsy because I'm using a yarn that doesn't exist anymore. So a lot of the things on my Etsy, I use Sweet Snuggles and Sweet Snuggles Light, which is still a thing. They didn't discontinue that one. So basically all like the light pastel colors, like this yellow is Sweet Snuggles, this is Sweet Snuggles Light. Like all of the bright colors are Sweet Snuggles, and then the more muted colors are Chenille Home. So everything I have in like gray, green, brown, I have to change the yarn that I use because it doesn't exist anymore. So anywho, I don't know if I'm gonna keep all of that in the video because I talked for a lot longer than I intended to. But I do have the colors that I need to make this orca whale. This is continued, but I still have a fair amount of it left, so I can make quite a number of orca whales before I have to change my black yarn. But yeah, I just needed to rant a little bit. But now let's crochet this orca whale plushie. Okay, I have finished the body. Now I need to do the fins and the tail. Okay, I've done the fins and the tail. Now I just need to do the embroidery eyes. And there we go, the orca whale plushie is complete. So this is my OG, this is the new one. They look very similar. And so now I have both plushies for this order, and it's time to package everything up. Okay, now let's write the thank you note to Liliana. I've finished the thank you note, and the next thing to do is package everything up. But it is currently 3:29 p.m. and I need to leave for work. So I will do the packaging once I get back home, which will be in about 10 hours for me, but 2 seconds for you. It's Saturday night. So it is currently 10:16 p.m. and when I came home from work last night, technically this morning, I didn't package up the order. And the reason for that is the post office isn't open on a Saturday. So whether I packed it last night or I pack it today, I still can't ship it until Sunday because the shipping service I used is open on a Sunday. So I basically just took the time to crochet other things. So let me just show you the things I've been working on. Let me take my glasses off. Can you see that glare? Can you see the glare? We're taking these off for a second. So I've been working on a Halloween hats collection. So I've made these ruffle hats. Don't mind the end. Don't mind the end. So essentially I've made hats that are inverse of each other. So this is black and orange with a black ruffle, black and orange with an orange ruffle. And then I also made cat hat versions, black ruffle, orange ruffle, and then I made a vertical stripes version. So this is what I've been working on over the past couple of days, and I wasn't filming myself making these. I don't have a future YouTube video about these. I was just crocheting them on my own time as a collection that I wanted to add to my shop. So last night I finished this one, which finished the collection. And so today, during the day, I was taking product photos and videos, creating the listings for Etsy. So today is September 13th. I don't know when I'm posting this video, but today on September 13th, all of these are live on my Etsy. And so there's no need to keep it a secret because they're already up on my Etsy. And by the time you see this, they'll have been up for a little bit. So yeah, this is my little Halloween collection. And yeah, that's what I've been working on. And I knew that Saturday was an off day for me and that I wanted to use the time to take product photos and create the listing and all of that stuff. So I wanted to finish the hats last night. So that is what I did last night instead of packing this order. But as I said, my shipping service is open tomorrow. So I'm going to get this order packed now. So let's do that. So let's take one final look at our items before we send them off. So here is the orca whale plushie. And here is the baby blue leggy froggy. And this order is going to the US, so I have to put my made in Canada tags on each item. And I only have one sticker left, so I went ahead and printed some more. 2 done, and I'm gonna write Liliana's name on the back. It's very faint. I should probably invest in some Sharpies. So I'm going to attach one to the fin of the whale and to the hand of the frog. And there we go. Thank you note. It is 11:22 p.m. and order number 17 is packed and ready to be shipped. One quick thing I want to talk about. This is my first package that I'm sending since the American president, who shall not be named, took away the de minimis for shipping. So essentially, if you were shipping from Canada into the US, anything that was valued under $800 wasn't subject to any tariffs or taxes or anything. But that stopped being a thing on August 29th, and it's currently September 13th. So this was my first order that I've completed since the de minimis being taken away. And let's just say that shipping was about 2.5 times more than it usually is. But it's okay. That's not Liliana's fault. That's the president's fault. But I watch a lot of small business YouTube channels, and a lot of them, like in mid-August leading up to August 29th, they were talking about how they were going to stop shipping to the US because it would cost them too much out of pocket to send it there, or if they put the cost on the customer, then they would have to raise their prices by such an amount that people from the US probably wouldn't want to buy from them anyways. And I'm not saying I'm going to stop shipping to the US. That's not where I'm going with this. I'm just saying I understand why people have stopped. So it's not like I lost money on this order or anything, but the profit margins are getting a little bit smaller. But hopefully things get put back the way they were. Fingers crossed. But anyways, there's some other things about this order that I would like to talk about, but I'll talk about them in the morning when we are on our way to the post office. Okie dokie, it is Sunday, September 14th at 10:19 a.m. and I'm on my way to drop off this package. So a couple of things I want to talk about. So when I was talking about the tariffs last night and like how the shipping was quite expensive, I don't know if I explained things properly. So let me try to do that right now. So essentially, you have two types of shipping. You have DDU and DDP. So DDU is delivery duties unpaid and DDP is delivery duties paid. So essentially, I could have not paid the tariff. Then when the order got to Liliana, she wouldn't have been able to receive the order until she paid the tariff. But two things. One, I didn't want her to have an unexpected expense. And two, Chit Chats won't let you purchase DDU shipping right now, meaning the only option was for me to pay the tariff up front. And so when I was talking about whether or not I'm going to ship to the US, I don't plan on stopping shipping to the US. But what I'm probably going to have to do is increase the shipping price. That way, the customer will technically pay the tariff to me, and then when I'm purchasing the shipping label, I'll use the money that they paid me to then pay the tariff. You know what I mean? But that way, the customer knows how much they're going to pay upfront. If I say, hypothetically, shipping is going to be $30, it's not going to be that much, but let's pretend, then it's better that the customer knows that up front and then they can decide whether or not they want to purchase my product versus them thinking shipping is only going to be $5 and then they pay me the $5 and then when their package arrives, turns out they have to pay another $25 on top of that and they weren't expecting that extra charge, right? So essentially moving forward, my shipping price that's going to be displayed on my Etsy is going to go up for US orders. And so people who are ordering will know upfront what the shipping price is, and if it's too high, I completely understand, and the person won't order, or if they are okay with the new shipping price, then they will order. I just want people to know the price of things up front and not have to pay something unexpected later. So yeah, that's essentially what I'm gonna do. I will technically pay the tariff, but I will increase the shipping price so that I'll be using the money the customer gave me to then pay the tariff. I hope I explained that well. So yes, that's what I'm gonna have to do. And of course, it's not ideal, but when you're running a business, sometimes you have to make difficult decisions. And I know that an increased shipping price could turn people away, but I want to be transparent with the price up front. So that is what I will be doing for now. And if the tariffs get taken away, then I will of course adjust my shipping prices back to what they previously were. So that's that on shipping. Another thing I wanted to talk about is we are now up to 17 orders and 26 sales. So we were at 24 sales after my last order, but the sale amount went up by 2 because my customer ordered 2 items. Another thing that's nice is, as I said, Liliana is my first repeat buyer. And so after she bought the turtle plushie a few months ago, she left a 5-star review. Thank you for that, Liliana. And she also, in her review, said that there were other things in my shop that she liked and that she would be purchasing more from me. And she has. So I'm so happy about that. Like, she said that she was gonna come back, and she did. And another thing related to repeat buyers is when somebody is a repeat buyer, it shows you on your Etsy, which I didn't know because I've never had a repeat buyer before. So there's a little star next to their name, and when you hover over it, it says repeat buyer. I always wondered, like, for me, it's easy to keep track of who my customers are because I haven't had that many customers, but it's like when you have hundreds and thousands of customers, like, how do you know who's new and who's not? But Etsy tells you. Like, there's certain settings or certain like pop-ups that you slowly unlock, I guess, as your Etsy shop grows. So that is something I've never seen on my shop before because I never had a repeat buyer before. So there's always new little like blurbs that you get to see as your shop grows. Like, for example, when you get to your first 10 sales, there's a blurb that says congrats on 10 sales, and there's also one for 20 sales. I don't know if there's one for 30 sales because I haven't gotten there yet, but basically there's like these little congratulatory messages or these little pop-ups that when you just start, you don't get to see. And then it basically keeps things fresh because there's always something new happening on your shop. So yeah, but I have arrived. I am now going to go inside and drop off this package. And just like that, order number 17 out of 100 is complete. Once again, thank you, Liliana, for your order. I'm so happy to have you as my first repeat buyer. I'm so happy that you liked your first item enough that you wanted to order from me again. Like, I am honestly and truly grateful. And I think future me might have a delivery update. Thanks, past me. It is currently Thursday, September 25th at 3:04 p.m. and the package has not made it to Liliana just yet, but it is close. It's on its way. But I do have a delivery update of sorts. Well, not so much a delivery update, but a shipping update. So in this video, I was talking about how with the new lack of de minimis situation, the shipping for this particular order was very high, and so I was going to have to increase the shipping prices to the US. I have since remedied the situation. Long story short, without getting into too much technicalities, I can make a separate video about this if you'd like, but there is a separate agreement called the CUSMA, and long story short, it's an agreement between Canada, USA, and Mexico, and essentially you can apply, like you fill out this form to have certain items be exempt from the tariffs. And so essentially I went through every single product that I have and I submitted them for this exemption and they all got approved. So for this particular order, the money has already been paid, the lesson has been learned, but for all future shipments, I no longer have to pay the tariff because my products have been exempt through my application. So this only applies for Canada, USA, and Mexico. So if you are a small business owner from a different country trying to ship into the US, then this specific exemption won't work for you. But if you are in one of those three countries and you want me to make a video about what I did and how I did it, comment down below and let me know. But either way, the shipping to the US situation has been resolved for now because this Canada-US-Mexico agreement runs out mid-2026. So this agreement may or may not get renewed next year, but for the time being, my shipping costs for the US are not going up. So yeah, not an update for this specific shipment, but an update for all future shipments. So now let's send it back to past me. Thanks, future me. So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you think your friends will enjoy it, be sure to share it with them. The link to my Etsy shop will be in the description below in case you want to purchase something from me. Remember all of those hats I showed a little bit earlier in this video? They're all available on my Etsy. They are my Halloween hats collection, and you can purchase those down below. Be sure to check out this playlist. It is my Road to 100 Etsy orders playlist. So if you liked this video, you'll probably like those, and I'll see you in my next video.